What is up, friends? I'm back. I know it's been a second. I was actually just in Mexico, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, which was so awesome. Like, it was so cool. I didn't really have service there, so I couldn't make any videos or, really use my phone a lot in general, but that's probably for the best, just so I can kind of enjoy the experience. And it was my first time out of the country, so it was really dope. It was really fun. We even took a cruise to an island, and there was monkeys there, parrots, sea lions. um, there was snorkeling there was zip lining, there's just tons and tons of stuff. So it was really cool. And that was also my first time on a plane. And I took 4 flights within that week that I was gone. So I'm definitely used to that now. I need a little bit of a break from all those long flights. But it's good to be back. Good to make another video. Just wanted to give you guys an update about where I was in Mexico, and yeah, give you guys a couple tips on lucid dreaming. So I actually had a lucid dream while I was in Mexico, and I believe it was just because the environment was kind of changed. I wasn't, in my bed or where my mind associates with bed, so my mind is probably a little bit more awake, which is why I was able to lucid dream. But I wanted to share my favorite, or the technique that I use the most, but it's actually two combined. So it's the wake back to bed and the wild technique. So wake back to bed is you literally go to sleep for about like 4 to 5 hours. Not 45. Don't do that. 4 to 5. And you stay up for like literally no time at all. Maybe like 10 minutes. And then you just go back to sleep. You don't try to do anything. You literally just say a mantra and then you go back to sleep and then just hope that you lucid dream. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it doesn't. So I like to combine that with the wild technique, which is wake-induced lucid dream, where you basically go from the waking state to the dreaming state, and because you have such a high level of awareness from being awake, that carries over into your dreams, and then you become aware a lot easier because your critical mind was just active. That's the prefrontal cortex part of the brain. So that's where our sense of self is, resides. So when we get lucid, that prefrontal cortex part of the brain actually activates. So it's a lot easier to do that once you've already had some sleep and your mind has that just sliver of awareness. So what we do basically combining these two is we go to sleep for about like 4 to 5 hours, as I said before, 4 to 5, and we get up, and this time we'll stay up for maybe like 15 to 30 minutes. 15 to 30 minutes, that's a good time. Don't like just sit on your phone or like start playing video games or do all this crazy stuff. You want to not use any blue light. So that's like your laptop, your phone, watching YouTube, whatever involves that blue light kind of or light that's a lot of technology is made of. Can I talk? Oh my goodness, technology. Why is that the hardest word right now? But so just keep it super simple. Maybe like write in your notebook, write about lucid dreaming, read about lucid dreaming, maybe like have like a short meditation on lucid dreaming or like do yoga, something like that for 15 to 30 minutes. But now, instead of going straight to bed, like in the wake back to bed method, we are actually going to lay on our backs and we are going to meditate. The reason why I lay on my back is because if I roll over, I get way too comfortable and I just fall asleep. And if you're wanting to keep your mind awake, you need to be in a position that your body doesn't associate with sleep. Like I usually can't fall asleep on my back, so that is the perfect position for me to try to meditate and lucid dream in. So after you've had that sleep, you're kind of tired, and then you wake up, and then you're like a little bit more awake than you were before. Then you're going to go lay down and meditate, and I use a sleeping mask because you want to make sure it's dark around you. You don't want any light coming in because that makes it hard when the hypnagogic imagery starts forming, all those colors. It makes it really hard for them to see what's going on and for your brain to kind of settle in, because if there's light, your brain's going to just, become active, and it kind of just defeats the purpose of waking up early. So we're going to cut that out. We're going to just put a sleeping mask on. If you don't have one, you can use like a headband or like a shirt or something that you can, something to cover your eyes. Now you're going to take a few deep breaths in and out. And when you do this, every exhale, you're going to imagine sinking into your bed. So this will create a heavy body, lots of relaxation, and it will be a lot easier to kind of turn your body off in a sense of like letting it fall asleep. So if you don't normally sleep on your back, this would be perfect, because even if you're super relaxed and you're kind of like in this like half awake, half asleep state, your brain isn't really going to turn all the way off, because number one, you've had enough sleep to the point where you can at least keep like a little bit of awareness, and you don't usually sleep in that position anyway. So what's going to happen? You're going to start seeing tons of colors. And as we talked about before, this is called hypnagogic imagery. Hypnagogic imagery means your body is falling asleep. You're going into sleep and your brain is processing dreams and all these colors, kind of getting you ready for bed. Hypnopompic imagery is when you're waking up and you see all those colors and you're coming out of sleep, which you can still do this technique in the hypnopompic state as well. But during the meditation, the hypnagogic state, we're laying in bed, we have our eyes closed, start to see all these colors, right? Like it starts to get pretty crazy. I don't know if you've ever had that before, but it like so many bright colors everywhere, and they're like washing out of your vision and like just doing some crazy stuff. That's what you want. If you've experienced that, that is the state that you want to be in. So definitely just go with it. Don't try to like move around. That's like the biggest thing. If you move around, you're basically sending a signal to your body that you are not asleep, and you cannot go into sleep paralysis or in a lucid dream or dreaming in general. So basically, while we're meditating and we're watching these colors, we want to trick our body into thinking that we're asleep. Trick. We're going to trick it, and we're going to just dive right into a lucid dream. That's how it works. It might seem a little bit easier than it is, but once you do it, it's literally like that. Once you start seeing those colors, you are going to feel your body get super heavy, like unbelievably heavy. Like there are weights on your legs. At least for me, this is how it goes for me. That's how I can tell when I'm getting really close, because I'm seeing all those colors. I'm starting to think about random things that I'm not trying to think about. It's because my brain is like kind of going like this half asleep, half awake thing. So like you start thinking about or like seeing clips of images that you're not even trying to think about. It's kind of like you're just observing this happening. Once you start getting into that state and you feel your body getting super heavy, you're going to start using those colors to try to form a dream. So you should probably, even before you get in this state, that way it's easier, I would probably think about the dream you want to create. So what lucid dream do you want to have? So for me, I really love being at the beach, either the forest or the beach. Those are usually what I go to, and like I can picture it very vividly. So you want it to be something that you can really imagine, like really vividly, like you've experienced it a few times to the point where you can pick up on the senses and like the visuals of it, everything. So for me, let's say like the forest. I'm in this state and I'm seeing all these colors, right? And then I'm going to imagine like I'm walking through a forest. What's everything that's going to happen through a walk, during a walk in the forest? Probably I'm going to hear some things, right? Probably some birds, maybe some water. The sun is going to be beaming down on my face, so I'm going to imagine the warmth of the sun. Depending on the weather, you can also imagine trying to visualize the wind, how it feels, and then try vividly imagining putting your hand on like a tree or something that is in the vision you're trying to create. So for me, there's lots of trees in the forest, so that's what I'm going to go with. You're going to put your hand, or at least visualize putting your hand on a tree. Now, you're going to want to feel every detail of this and make it as real as possible. Because as we talked about before, your brain cannot tell if you are dreaming or awake when you're in a lucid dream. So we're going to try to create that super, super vivid so your brain thinks that you're sleeping, and it will form the dream a lot easier because you're engaging with all those senses. So you're going to, it depends how long it takes. I mean, usually it takes like 15 to 30 minutes for me, but it's actually super enjoyable. So don't think it's going to take, really long and you're just going to be like sitting there kind of wishing that it was done. Like, it's actually a very cool process, especially when you almost start to believe that you're there. That's what you want to do. So that's how the wake back to bed and the wild technique are combined. And then from there, it's going to get so vivid that your body, number one, your body is so relaxed and you're like not thinking about tons of stuff rolling over, all this. You're very calm. So that's going to put your body into sleep paralysis. Now, don't be scared of sleep paralysis. It is a beautiful thing. And mostly what you're going to feel in this state is like tingling vibrations. It feels like your whole body's asleep, because that's basically what's happening. So that's all. It's kind of cool. Not kind of cool. It's really cool. Like, I really enjoy that. But you're going to feel that like tingling vibration feeling all over. And then you're going to start seeing the dream form in front of you. So all those colors that you're seeing, it's going to start to form a picture. And then it's going to get more real and more real until you're literally like in the dream. You just like pop up in the dream. Now, this may not work the first time, but if you practice meditation and you practice visualization, it will work for you. It's all about creating a strong visualization. And so if you don't usually meditate, I would recommend meditating at least for 5 minutes before bed. Even just practicing this, like practice, the dream you want to have, the lucid dream you want to have. Put yourself through that in a meditation before bed. That's also good before bed because it's the last thought on your mind basically before you go to bed, and so that's what's going to seep over into your dreams. So if wake back to bed doesn't work for you, if wild hasn't worked for you, try combining them, because I've actually had the best success combining them. I actually have something that's called Spiritual Sunday, and every Sunday I will wake up after about 6 to 7 somewhere, hours of sleep, and I'll stay up for half an hour and then go right back to bed and meditate. And it works literally like 98% of the time now. And even if it doesn't, I can get to the vibrational state, which is awesome, because if you're into astral projection or out-of-body work, that means that you can just have an out-of-body experience instead. So it's really cool to be able to get to this state. So really practice on putting your body to sleep while your mind is awake. Now, I have so many things that we can cover on this topic, like so many tips, techniques, methods, all on this, because there's so many different ways that you can do it. And that's why I know that all of you can do it, because there's so many different ways to get to it, regardless of the circumstances. So try this out. Let me know what you guys think. It might take a couple times again, but really just practice calming your mind down, relaxing your body, and getting really good at visualization. So that's my favorite technique, wake back to bed / wild. Favorite thing ever. That's the one I probably use the most. So I just wanted to share that, guys, with you, along with just coming back from Mexico, letting you guys know where I was, what I was doing. But I really wanted to share that with you today, especially because it's Sunday, and this is the day where I do most of that. So definitely let me know what you guys think. And if you have any questions, like if some of this doesn't make sense to you, let me know and I'll clarify, because I know it was kind of a lot of information in a short amount of time, but it's an amazing method, and you get, the easiness of the wake back to bed, but the vividness and sharpness of the dream from using wild in it as well. So yep, that is all for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time with love and lucidity.